You're watching Betting Weekly Fight Life on the Bet Rivers Network.
Welcome to Betting Weekly Fight Life. I'm your host, Kyle Andrew, and joining me is Betting Weekly Studios resident fight expert, Mr. Paul Hughes. Paul, how are you doing today? Prepping for a fight card in Shanghai this week, UFC Fight Night Shanghai. You're going to watch fights while eating breakfast. It's amazing.
I am. I mean, the main card starts at 11 a.m. here. The undercard starts at 8 a.m. So perfect time to wake up and watch some fight. I can't remember last time. I think it was Peter Yan versus Figueiredo, was it?
I think that was the last one.
Yeah, I think that even started a little bit later, I think. So
yeah, we have to make note to the viewers, anyone tuning into the UFC this weekend. I imagine most of our viewers are either on UK time or North American time. Here in North America, the undercard actually begins at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the main card begins at 6 a.m. Now, I'm an old person, so I'll be up at 6 a.m. for the main card. I don't think I'm setting my alarm for 3 a.m. for this one, so I'll be putting my bets in tonight if there's any on the prelims for me. But it's going to be great for you. I'm excited for you. You'll have a whole day after the UFC is done, and that is very rare.
I wouldn't know what to do.
All right, well, before we get to Paul's best bets for this weekend's UFC Fight Night Shanghai, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Betting Weekly Studios to get more fight life and notified of all the great betting shows on Betting Weekly, and there is a bunch of them. However, that said, why don't we hop right into the main event for this card? It should be an interesting one, and, we've got Johnny Walker against Zhang Mingyang, or Mingyang Zhang, depending on where you're located in the world. This, to be very clear, seems like a bit of a layup for the hometown boy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they knew what they were doing, mainly because Johnny Walker was meant to fight Mirzakhanov, and he got withdrawn. He withdrew from that fight with no disclosed reason. Topology even just says it, just Walker withdrew, and then 2 months later he's fighting Zhang. So it kind of feels like they've just wanted to put him on a headline to get KO'd in Shanghai because they knew they were doing the Shanghai card. So yeah, it feels a bit forced by the UFC, but yeah, I mean, look at the KO odds, look at the under odds. I mean, they're clearly thinking Zhang's gonna walk through Walker in this one.
Well, there's a good reason for that too, because he is an absolute first round finishing machine, is he not?
Yeah, I mean, he was 5-5 in his MMA career, and now he's 19-6.
Yeah.
So, and he's had 13 wins by KO and 12 first round finishes in a row. So it kind of looked like he was at the start of his career. To be fair, he is very young. His last loss came at only 20 years old. So he was 5-5 at 20, and now he's 26, and he's 14-1 since then. So, he's matured well, and yeah, he's probably gonna switch Walker off. Yeah.
He's 27. Walker's only 33, but it seems like the UFC fight planners themselves, they're mostly just picking, where do we send Johnny Walker to get knocked out next?
Yeah.
He's on his world tour. I do feel bad for him too, because he's one of the entertaining personalities in the UFC, but this is a terrible matchup for him. Zhang is a absolute killer.
Yeah, the thing is with Walker as well, every time he gets finished, it looks like it's brutal. He never looks like he's going to take a normal finish.
It looks like a cartoon. It does.
Yeah, I mean, against Ozdemir, that was brutal, and then followed up, and then Ankalaev, another brutal one, and then all these other losses. But I will say the last time Walker was kind of down and out, and people were counting him out, after that Jamal Hill fight, he went on a 3-fight win streak. So, he's on 2 losses in a row here, 2 pullouts. I don't think he's going to be the fight that he goes on a win streak from, but if there's anyone going to be awkward enough to stop a big UFC star on the come up, I guess it'll be Johnny Walker.
Yeah, well, you keep guessing that. I can't see it, to be honest with you, but this is light heavyweight. There is always the puncher's chance thing. Johnny Walker, he's got reach. He's not lacking in skill. I just think maybe this game has passed him by to a degree, and it really does feel like he's being served up here. If you just look at those odds, minus 305 to finish is wild.
Yeah, minus 305 on the under as well.
Yeah.
Again, Johnny Walker, every time he gets touched now, it's generally just scared for him. He gets dropped and hurt every single fight. Anyone with a bit of power puts him out. And I might go as far as say Zhang has the most KO power in the division. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like you're putting the worst chin in the division against the hardest hitter in the division. And the thing with Zhang, he's not scared to be hit on the. He'll come in and he's kind of like he's got like a decent
Yeah.
chin. So what he's like, if he has to get hit to hit, he doesn't mind that. And if he's bracing in, if he has to take one from Johnny Walker and he lands one, we know who's going to come out the better of that exchange. It's going to be Zhang, who probably going to hit Walker badly with a straight jab, 20% power. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is just a brutal spot for Johnny Walker, and I think Zhang's going to KO him very, very timely in this one.
I have absolutely no argument for that assessment whatsoever. Does that actually translate to your pick? Did you find something on here that we could actually find value in?
I mean, it's a bit chalky, but I just took Zhang Mingyang KO 1 at plus 104. Looking back, I thought it was going to be minus money and about minus 120, minus 125, and to get it at plus money still. I don't think we can really complain. I mean, Johnny Walker, he's only set after being such a hot prospect. He's only 7-6 in the UFC. So, it's like he's like kind of just like a 500 fighter now. And one of them no contest against Ank, like we saw that fight out was going to go out. He's going to lose. And he's been knocked out in the first round by Jamal Hill, Corey Anderson, Ozdemir, Ankalaev in the second. He got knocked out in the regional scene in the first a couple times. And I don't know. I think Zhang's the hardest hitter he's ever faced. And with already a multitude of first-round finishes. And Zhang, what did we say before? 13 first-round finishes in a row? 12 first-round finishes
12.
in a row, I think.
3 in the UFC, 9 before then.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think plus money here is a spot we just have to take, and I'm happy with it against Johnny Walker especially.
Yeah, and sometimes it's very easy to overthink these things, and it can be scary to predict a first-round finish, but when he has so many of them in a row, when he's against someone with such a light chin as Walker now has, and he's in front of this hometown crowd where he obviously is on the verge of superstardom in the fight game for himself. He's going to come out looking for that chin in the first round. A fourth round KO would be an absurd bet here. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah, it's not. No one's planning on it. There's no one planning on this fight going late into the rounds. The odds makers tend to agree. It just is what it is. It's just an unfortunate situation and setup for Johnny Walker, but that's where he's at in his career, and feels like he's being.
If he wins, it'll be such a feel-good story, though. So
it truly would. It truly would.
Yeah.
Now, if you like what you hear on our show, sign up for our newsletter. Get exclusive tips in the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Why don't we just hop right into the next fight immediately, Paul? And, okay, so let me explain my scenario to you. I'm I'm flip-flopping on what I think is going to happen with this fight, and I was watching some old footage. I'm in bed last night, and then I go on X, Twitter, and the weigh-ins were happening, and Brian Ortega looked like a cast member from The Walking Dead walking to the scales, and this fight, which was supposed to be a featherweight fight, is now a 153-pound catchweight fight, 8 pounds above the featherweight limit. What's going on here?
First of all, I'll say shout out Aljamain Sterling for taking this fight.
Yes,
he's a bantamweight 135 champion, and now he's fighting someone at 153 pounds. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Ortega, he's looked definitely on the scales a couple of times now, and this one, when they went to do the face-off, it looked grim. It looks like it shouldn't even be sanctioned.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like once he recovers and he hasn't cut all the way down, this fight's still going ahead. Ortega has some of the best durability the UFC's ever seen. Mm-hmm. He against the Max Holloway fight is absolutely brutal. The Volkanovski fight, I can't believe that wasn't stopped. And while it should have been stopped, he was probably the closest person to ever finish Volk before the last few fights. Like them triangles he had him in, the chokes he had him in, there couldn't be any tighter. And this was after taking so much damage.
Yeah,
I was originally thinking Sterling by decision about 2 days ago, but if you've seen, Sterling was minus 250, and after all this weigh-in and stuff, he's up to minus 400.
Yeah.
So any value there that we could have squeaked out on the decision prop is gone. I mean, and then that kind of, did you think about when you saw him weigh in and you were like, oh, how is over 4.5 rounds minus money? Like, were you thinking about taking the under at all, or what? Do you know when you see him that definitely on the?
So here's exactly what happened with me in this fight. And I just want to make one note for the viewers, too. Both these guys are coming in off losses to extremely high-level opponents. Ortega lost to Diego Lopez. Sterling lost to Mosar Evloev. When I saw all this stuff last night, it completely changed my perspective on this. I'm thinking, he can't go 5 rounds. Like, this is not going 5 rounds. And I immediately looked, and I actually placed money on the fight to not go into the 5th round because the odds were very, very good because I just couldn't see it. And I was very, very confident about that. And then when I woke up this morning, I started wondering if there's any chance he's playing possum. Like, is there any chance that he just didn't want to fight at 105, 145, knew he wasn't even going to come close and get there, and then he added the visual theatrics to it? I mean, that's a pretty bold thing to say. But I want to make it very clear. I'm not commenting on Brian Ortega as a person here. I'm commenting on someone looking to place a wager on this fight. And while I think Aljamain Sterling is super game, the points you make about Ortega and his durability, if this problem he has is as serious as it looks, first of all, should this fight have even been sanctioned?
No.
Probably not. So if he is as bad as that, I don't think the fight goes into the 5th round. So I canceled that bet. I did. I took like a $2 loss on it. I just canceled it because I thought about it again, and I might do it again at a smaller wager. I just don't know what's going to happen here now, and I don't trust betting when this kind of last-second nonsense gets thrown into the mix. It's just strange for me.
Yeah, if I was to take anything at the current prices, it would probably. Well, first of all, let me talk about when you said playing possum. That was like the first thing I said to you when we touched on it together. Just like, I think this Ortega was meant to move up to 155 anyways, and this was his last fight was meant to be the last fight in the division, but then it looks like he got this fight, and then he was meant to move up after his next fight, and now he misses weight. The thing is, for me, was he already building up his body to be a 155er? Right. What is he going to be more like stronger than Aljamain in these exchanges? And do you know what I mean as well? Or maybe I don't doubt that this could be a bit of theatricals as well. Like, he just wanted the extra few pounds. You know, he thinks, if I win at 153, that goes ahead. I still get my win bonus, and then get a move up to lightweight in a good position, new division, not lost to anyone there other than Holloway. But I don't know. I think Aljamain Sterling, good early prices were good. I think it's probably going to play out where Ortega's just too durable, and Aljo's happy to just hold on to the back for large periods of time, and probably somewhat boring or low striking output Sterling decision.
Yeah, for me, when I rethought about my potential wager of this not entering the 5th round, had he missed weight at 148 or 149 and gotten a little closer and looked like that, it would have made more sense to me. But he was 8 pounds shy on the official catch weight. How did he look that bad being only 2 pounds under the weight we think he's eventually going to land at? Like, it doesn't add up to me. And I don't know if there's a little gamesmanship here. Again, not a comment on his character. I like Brian Ortega. He's had a good career. But as a person looking to bet on this fight, I'm passing. I don't think I can do it.
Passing I think we just saw everything going on, to whether it's theatrics, whether it's just a serious health concern. I think you've got to just pass. I think Sterling, probably rightful favorite. And yeah, I hope Ortega's good, and I hope it ends a war. I mean, I was also going to look at something maybe Ortega late type of things, because I think his over 5 rounds, it does suit him more than it does suit Sterling, just because he has that durability, and he gets hurt and then he just comes back like he did against Volk and a couple of other people in the past. So yeah, but with all this stuff going on, I think just keep your money in your pocket for this one.
All right, fair enough. Let's move into the heavyweight fight on this card, which should be, I don't know what to make of this one either. It has good potential to be a very entertaining fight. We got Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Cortes-Acosta is coming in on 5 straight wins. Pavlovich on 1 straight win. What do you make of this?
I think it's a huge step up for Waldo Cortes-Acosta.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of just sun run a bit. I think the fight against Spivak, I bet him, but I scored the fight for Spivak. So yeah, I mean, he was getting walked down by Spivak on the feet, which you would think would be the opposite in that type of fight. Pavlovich, I think he was before he fought Tom. It was like, is he the best heavyweight in the world? Is he the hardest hitter the division's ever seen? Is like he's the boogeyman of the roster? And then he's lost to probably two of the top two. Well, two of the two best fighters in the division because Volkov beat Gon clearly before that robbery, and yeah, so he lost to the two best fighters in the division, and now it's like people don't think he's like that dangerous anymore. I mean, I don't know. I think Cortes-Acosta's running pretty thin in this one. I can see him. I don't see him finishing him. Maybe like if I was wanting to play Cortes-Acosta, I'd probably take the decision prop. But I think Pavlovich is just too much harder of a hitter. I don't think he'd be scared of Cortes-Acosta's power, and I think he's gonna walk him down. And he's gonna finish him early in the fight.
Yeah, I had trouble kind of deciding what I think will happen here too, but to me this one kind of comes down to Pavlovich has fought the best guys in the division, and Cortes-Acosta, this will be the best person he's ever fought. He has not had this level of competition, and I haven't seen anything in his previous engagements that really makes me think he's ready to respond to what Pavlovich could present to him. And Pavlovich is a smart man. He knows he needs to show something here right now because he hasn't looked his best since the Aspinall loss, although who would and who does. Because Tommy's such a killer, but I think he'd probably be coming out looking for a statement here. I don't think Pavlovich is interested in going 3 rounds in this fight, and I don't know that Cortes-Acosta has a path to victory beyond a decision. That's just kind of the way it plays out to me. And Paul, did you find a bet on this? Did that kind of inform your official pick if you have one?
Yeah, I think the levels are just too far apart. I'm just happy to take Pavlovich to win by finish. I mean, there's also kind of thing going around that Pavlovich in the late rounds not going to be as good, but I disagree with that he's had 5-round experience outside the UFC,
right?
So it's not like he's some big gasser, and he won that fight. So Cortes-Acosta, I don't know. I'm not high on him as a prospect. I think he lost to Spivak, and if the decision went the other way, I think the majority scored it for Spivak, and if the fight went the other way, he's probably like plus 300, plus 350 in this spot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm happy to take the plus 100 on Pavlovich just to win the fight.
All right.
By finish.
Yeah, I think that will also be my official selection too. It's to me it's as much about I'm just not as high on Cortes-Acosta as anything else in this fight, and it's a level of competition thing. And again, we see people step up in these situations, and they realize they're not quite at the table, or maybe he'll surprise us. But I don't really see it happening. Okay, let's
very sink or swim.
Very sink or swim. Okay, we are into the portion of the card now where I've spelt the names hyphonetically on the... so you have to forgive me for a second here if I get this correct. Sumudaerji, 29 years old, 1 straight win versus Kevin Borjas, 27 years old, 1 straight win. This is a flyweight matchup. What do you make of this, Paul?
I think Sumudaerji's probably a deserved favorite. Minus 186. When I was looking at it, I thought he should be around this. If he was a bit shorter, I was planning on betting him. But the concern with me is that Borjas kind of just hurts everyone, and Sumudaerji kind of just gets hurt by everyone. But he doesn't get finished. I mean, I don't know. I think he's got a lot more tools on the feet. He's going to be able to mix it up more. And if anyone's going to be probably going on the grappling, it's probably going to be Sumudaerji, even though both are pretty poor grapplers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Sumudaerji's probably going to be touching him up on the feet, and then maybe Borjas drops him at one point. But I think Sumudaerji's probably going to win the somewhat decision, or I don't know. As well, it's in Shanghai, so if it's a close fight, I can see the Sumudaerji getting the nod anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Sumudaerji's kind of just going to be a bit too good for Borjas. Yeah.
The one thing I was looking at on the board here is Sumudaerji, most of his fights have come by knockout. Like most of his wins have come by knockout. And he's plus 475 for a KO, TKO, DQ. And because this is a pizza money bet for me potentially too, where I might take that pizza money and just throw it on there and look for that to happen with absolutely no guarantee whatsoever that would be the outcome. Not 100% sure of it, but there's, him by decision's also good because if you look, minus 715 to go over 1.5 rounds, like we're expecting this to go long. And the odds are whoever wins this is going to win by decision.
I think, when you mentioned that, I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, Borjas against him and Joshua Van, and he looked super durable and went the distance. And then he fought Alessandro Costa and looked like he didn't know how to fight. And then he had his last fight against Ronaldo Rodriguez, and he was back to the person who fought Joshua Van. And it's like, it was such high up and high down. Like, I don't know if I can, rule out the Alessandro Costa fight and maybe just put it down like maybe a bad weight cut or whatever else was going on. You never know with these things. But if he's a fighter that came out against Alessandro Costa, I can definitely see a Sumudaerji finish.
Yeah, it's other than that, were you able to find any value here that you liked?
No, I think early prices on Sumudaerji were good, but at this stage, probably looking to pass. Maybe if Borjas hurts him in the first round, I think it'd be a pretty good live entry. If he looks... Just because he's a lot more skilled. I think he's got way more tools on the feet. Probably winning most of the exchanges. I don't know. I think Borjas is need to land a big shot to get the judges on his side here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that, Paul. But it has the potential to have some pretty good action in the fight too, and we can definitely expect a lively crowd for a hometown boy in this one as well too. And all right, we have the last fight of the main card on Saturday morning, depending on your mileage. We have Tilak Nueraji, 24 years old. This is his UFC debut against Kiefer Crosbie, 35, coming in off of 2 straight losses. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, Kiefer Crosbie just not UFC level, unfortunately. As much as I want him to be, I think he's pretty cool character. But no, I took Patterson to submit his last fight. I felt like literally like a free leg of like any power that you want to just put him to sub Crosbie.
Sure.
What Crosbie does, he just gets subbed in losses.
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of originally thinking of. Well, I don't even know how to say his name, to be honest. I'm normally quite good at the things, but
Tilak Nueraji is the best I've come up with so far.
Yeah.
I listened to 5 other people say his name, and that's my hybrid of.
I mean, it looks like what it should be, but I think sub's a bit wide on the Nueraji side. I've seen some decent work from him there, and Kiefer Crosbie's might be the easiest person to sub on the roster.
Yeah.
So I don't think the discrepancy of minus 167. I mean, he's got 1 or 2 sub wins, I think, Nueraji. So I also seen him get some top control, but one of the times he has some moments in when he's on the ground, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's a bit amateurish still, which wasn't great, but I don't know. I think he's probably just going to hit and finish Crosbie pretty early here. I mean, I was looking to try and get with him somewhere rounds 1 or 2, but look at the under minus 215. There's not really, there's not really a way to get with him in this fight. And I think he's going to win. I think he's actually pretty good. He brings it. He pushes pace. He goes out there to hurt you, which is something that's rare in MMA these days. Yeah, Crosbie's there to be finished, and I think you're actually get it done early.
Yeah, it's just to quickly recap a bit of data here. 9 of Tilak's 11 pro wins have occurred in round 1. Kiefer Crosbie's lost 4 of his last 6, was finished in all 4 of those. Can't see this one going the distance. What I forgot to check was a first round victory for Tilak, but I just don't feel like I'm confident enough in. It's a UFC debut. I don't know that. Yeah, you're starting the main card.
Minus money.
If that's minus money, that's a hard pass because I don't know this fighter well enough. He's going to be coming out flying. There's always something to be said for the first fight of the main card in your homeland, stuff like that. But I don't know. I couldn't really find anything. I'm looking forward to the fight because I'm looking forward to Kiefer Crosbie's last UFC fight potentially.
It's a minus 103 for the second round to start. So
minus 103 for the second round to start. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So, were you able to find anything for this?
No, I mean, as I said, we'd look to get from your drive the early finish odds were better,
Yeah.
but they're just not, unfortunately. I think Crosbie, although probably not the level you need, he has shown some ability in the past. And, these fighters every once in a while just like to come out and just school these new prospects and
Yes.
randomly. So, I'm not going to rule it out, but I think Nueraji is pretty good. I think you'll probably finish him early. And, hopefully it's fun. Hopefully we've got another prospect on our hands. And he's on the opening of the main card for a reason in China. So maybe he's the opener of the main card.
Yeah, that's why exactly. I think they're expecting big things from the hometown fighters on this card, and going through it quickly, I think that's exactly what they're going to get as well. And that's really smart because this is a very important region for the UFC and global expansion and all that stuff too. It's always good to have great fighters coming out of China. Paul, before we get going, do you want to just quickly recap all of your picks on this card?
We just have Zhang Mingyang to win in the first round against Johnny No-Chin Walker, and we have Sergey Pavlovich to win by finish against Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Just the two players, it's not a strong week for the UFC. Just the two of the highest level fights in the card other than the co-main. So just happy to play the bit of value we've got there.
I'm just happy to be watching the fights while I'm eating my morning oatmeal and eggs. So that'll be kind of exciting from my end too. But that's the recap on the fight picks that Paul was able to make this week. We hope everyone enjoys UFC Shanghai Fight Night. The thing is, remember, starts very early in the morning in all likelihood, depending on where you're watching this. So check your local times. On behalf of Mr. Paul Hughes, my name is Kyle Handrew. This has been Fight Life, brought to you by Bet Rivers and Betting Weekly Studios.
Thanks for watching Betting Weekly Fight Life on the Bet Rivers Network.